What if your cat isn't being distant? What if they're just waiting for you to show up in a way they actually understand? Most people move through their day assuming their cat is fine, independent, unbothered, curled up somewhere, doing what cats do. But here's what the science is quietly and urgently revealing. Cats feel loneliness just as deeply as dogs do. They've just learned, over thousands of years of living alongside us, to hide it in ways we completely miss. And the worst part? The signs of a lonely cat look almost identical to the signs of a content one. Same stillness, same silence, same calm face. But underneath that stillness, something is slowly shifting. And by the end of this video, I'm going to show you exactly what that shift looks like, what causes it, and the 5 small daily habits that can stop it entirely and reverse it. But stay with me until the very end, because the last thing I'm going to tell you is the one thing most owners go their entire lives never knowing, and it might be the most important thing you ever do for the cat sleeping in your home right now. Point 1. Give them a good morning every single day. Let me ask you something. When you wake up tomorrow morning, what will you do first? Most of us reach for our phone, start the coffee, maybe let the dog out. And our cat is just there, sitting on the counter or the windowsill, watching us move through the kitchen, waiting. And we walk right past them. Not out of cruelty, just habit. Just the invisible rhythm of a morning routine that never thought to include them. But here's what's happening in that moment from your cat's perspective. A study published in Animal Cognition found that domestic cats form secure and insecure attachments to their human caregivers. Attachments that mirror the attachment patterns seen in human infants bonding with their mothers. And just like a child who reaches for a parent in the morning and is met with warmth versus one who is ignored, a cat's emotional state for the hours that follow is shaped significantly by that first interaction of the day. Cats who receive a calm, intentional greeting in the morning, eye contact, a soft word, physical acknowledgement, show measurably lower cortisol levels throughout the day compared to cats whose mornings begin in silence. It doesn't need to be long. It doesn't need to be elaborate. 30 seconds. You say their name in a gentle voice. You offer a slow blink, which in cat language is the equivalent of a smile, a gesture of safety. You let your hand rest near them and let them choose whether to come closer. That's the whole thing. That's the entire ritual. But what it communicates to your cat is something that no toy, no treat, and no expensive bed can replicate. It says, I woke up and I thought of you. You are part of my morning. You are not furniture in this house. You are someone I see. Start tomorrow. Just 30 seconds. And watch what begins to change. Point 2. Play with them, not at them. Here's something I want you to think honestly about. When you play with your cat, how does it usually go? Most owners, and I mean this kindly, because most of us do this, take out a wand toy or a laser pointer, move it around for a few minutes while scrolling their phone with the other hand, and then put it away. Done. Playtime complete. But your cat doesn't experience that as play. They experience it as an interrupted hunt. And that distinction matters more than almost anything else in your cat's emotional life. Cats are obligate predators. Every cell in their body is built around the sequence of the hunt, the stalk, the crouch, the chase, the pounce, and the catch. Research from the University of Edinburgh found that cats who are allowed to complete the full predatory play sequence, including the catch, shows significantly lower anxiety, fewer stress-related behaviors, and stronger social bonds with their owners than cats whose play is cut short or never reaches resolution. The key word, again, is complete. Your cat needs to win. Every single session. Let them catch the toy. Let them hold it in their mouth for a moment. Let them feel the satisfaction of the kill, even if the kill is a feather on a stick. A cat that never wins the hunt is a cat living in a state of constant, low-grade frustration. And that frustration doesn't announce itself. It doesn't become aggression overnight or destruction in a single afternoon. It accumulates quietly, invisibly, until it becomes the background noise of your cat's entire emotional existence. Anxiety, withdrawal, compulsive grooming, a slow retreat from the things they used to love. 10 minutes of real, engaged, complete play, twice a day, is enough to dismantle all of that. Put the phone down. Get on the floor. Let them win. It costs you nothing. It gives them everything. And hey, if this is already changing the way you see your cat, hit like and subscribe to Cat's Curio. It helps us reach more cat owners who truly want to understand what their cat is telling them. Point 3. Learn their "I need you" signal before it disappears. Every cat has one specific, personal gesture they make when they need connection. For some cats it's a quiet chirp at your ankles while you're cooking. For others it's sitting just close enough to touch, but not quite touching, and waiting, with enormous patience, for you to close the distance. Some cats bring a toy and drop it at your feet. Some cats simply sit and stare at you with an expression so soft and open that, if you're paying attention, it stops you mid-sentence. A landmark 2019 study from Oregon State University confirmed what many cat behaviorists had long suspected. Cats actively and deliberately seek out social interaction with their human caregivers. They reach out. They initiate. They ask. But, and this is the part that should sit with you, when they reach out and are consistently ignored or missed, they don't escalate. They don't become louder or more insistent the way dogs do. They do the opposite. They go quiet. They withdraw. They begin, slowly and invisibly, to stop asking. Over weeks, over months, a cat whose signals are repeatedly missed learns that reaching out doesn't work. And so they stop. And that silence, that new, settled stillness, looks from the outside like a cat who has simply become more independent, more mature, more content in their own company. But it isn't independence. It's resignation. It's a cat who has quietly given up on being understood. So today, right after this video, watch your cat. Really watch them. Notice what they do in the 10 minutes before they curl up alone in another room. Notice the small moment, the tiny gesture, right before they give up and leave. That moment is them reaching for you. And now that you know it exists, you'll never be able to unsee it. Reach back, every time. Even if it's just a glance, a word, a hand extended in their direction, it is enough. To your cat, it is everything. Point 4. Create one spot that belongs to both of you. Not their bed. Not the couch in general. One specific, consistent spot where you sit, regularly and predictably, and where your cat learns, over days, over weeks, that you will be there. Calm. Available. Present. Cats are creatures of profound spatial memory. They don't just remember places. They store emotional meaning inside them. A windowsill where they watched birds becomes a place of excitement. A corner where they were startled by a loud noise becomes a place of unease, sometimes for years. And a spot where their person sits, quietly and reliably, becomes something else entirely. It becomes a place of safety. A study published in Applied Animal Behavior Science found that cats who share consistent, calm resting locations with their owners display measurably stronger attachment behaviors and significantly lower baseline cortisol levels over time. The location itself matters far less than the consistency. It could be a reading chair, a spot on the bedroom floor, a specific cushion by the window. What matters is that you return to it, regularly, predictably, without fanfare, and that your cat learns that when they find you there, you are not rushing, not distracted, not about to leave. You are simply there. Over time, your cat will begin to seek out that spot even when you're not in it. They'll sleep there. They'll groom there. Because the spot carries the scent and the memory and the emotional residue of something they have come to count on. You're not just giving your cat a place. You're giving them a promise. And cats, quiet, careful, deeply feeling animals that they are, remember every promise you keep. Point 5. Talk to your cat like they're listening, because they genuinely are. I know how this sounds. I know that a significant portion of you just had the thought, I'm not going to talk to my cat, that's ridiculous. And I want you to hold that thought, because the science on this is not subtle. It is not soft. It is remarkably, almost startlingly clear. Research from the University of Tokyo demonstrated that domestic cats can not only recognize their owner's voice and distinguish it from the voice of a stranger, They process the emotional quality within it. The warmth, the calm, the safety encoded in a familiar tone. In follow-up studies, cats exposed to their owner's voice during stressful situations showed faster physiological recovery, lower heart rate, reduced cortisol, faster return to relaxed body posture than cats who heard silence or a stranger's voice. Your voice, specifically your voice, is a biological regulator for your cat's nervous system. It tells their body, the person I trust is nearby. I am not in danger. I am not alone. Owners who speak to their cats throughout the day, narrating what they're doing, using their cat's name softly, checking in during quiet moments, consistently report deeper, more responsive, more emotionally present bonds with their animals. And their cats show it. More eye contact. More voluntary proximity. More of those small, easy gestures of trust that take years to build and, in a lonely cat, are the first things to disappear. You don't need a script. You don't need to say anything meaningful or coherent. Talk about your coffee. Describe what you're making for dinner. Say their name when you walk past them, just to let them know you noticed they were there. Your cat is listening. They have always been listening. They were just waiting for you to realize it. Now, do you remember what I said at the beginning? That the signs of a lonely cat look almost identical to the signs of a content one. Here is what I meant. A lonely cat stops grooming near you. They move their sleeping spot, not all at once, but inch by inch, week by week, until one day you notice they're always in a different room, and you genuinely cannot remember when that started. They stop bringing you things. They stop making that specific sound they used to make when you came home. And because none of these changes happen overnight, because each one is so small and so gradual, we miss them entirely. We call it personality. We call it age. We call it the cat just being a cat. But now you know what it actually is. And more importantly, you know what to do about it. A good morning. Real play. A signal noticed and answered. A shared spot. A voice that says, without words, you are not invisible to me. None of these things are difficult. None of them are expensive. None of them require you to rearrange your life. They only require you to remember, once a day, that there is a small creature in your home who chose you, completely, quietly, without condition, and who is waiting, with more patience than you will ever fully understand, for you to choose them back.